I don't know if this video will go through, but I'm gonna try it anyways. I'm gonna try it anyways, family, damnly. I'm here specifically to talk astrology, to talk healing. But let me, while people is coming in, I can throw this in. Chakra Nova will be available exclusively at the ColumbianExchange.com. That's Columbian Exchange with an X. You can pre-order it now and get a free workbook with that pre-order after I deliver this first batch of pre-orders. Then the workbook will be sold separately. So if you interested in tapping in at a particular bonus rate, now is your time. So that is my TED Talk. So for some reason, Instagram kicking me off when I'm trying to do videos and having my shit be all scrambled and scrambled like eggs, but I don't eat eggs because it's too much sodium. But I digress. The sun and the moon will be conjunct Pisces on this coming Monday. I love new moons when they fall on Mondays because Monday is the moon day. That's double intention setting, right? And I call these new moons intentions and rituals because this is the day to get your intentions in orders and your rituals in orders. Now, there's many different ways to do intentions. There's many different ways to do rituals. So I tend to align my rituals and intentions with the constellation. And so since I don't know much about Pisces and the definition of the word, I tend to do deeper research in relation to the constellation of Pisces. And when I do research, it's hella abstract and I don't know what the fuck they talking about. So I gotta do further research to figure out what the fuck they talking about. And once I get past that actual code, I get to a point where I can understand and then share. So I'll be referencing some tarot cards, the Ten of Cups. I'll be referencing the tarot card of the moon. And also out of the Voodoo Tarot deck, the zombie, right? Because a lot of people is actually dealing with this zombie frequency. And I want you to point it out if you don't understand what is the zombie frequency, because obviously nobody wants to be a zombie. But if it's subconscious, you said on the other side. No. Huh? Oh, that's what you wanted? Oh. I thought you wanted something else. There you go. So, the Ten of Cups, the Moon Tarot card, and Zombie. Zombie because it's ruled by Neptune, but the Hangman, it represents all water signs. So Pisces, Scorpios, Cancer. You can reference the Zombie card if you're in the Voodoo Tarot deck, but if you're in the Rider-Waite or Thoth, you want to work with the Hangman. And the Hangman is really working with your emotions, because your emotions can really have you upside down. A lot of people feel a certain way about themselves, about their life, and that's their only block, right? Because if you felt a certain type of way, if you adjusted the way that you felt, which feelings do adjust, that's why sometimes it's like, damn, I could have been done that, but you don't feel a certain way. So this is one in relationships. Your partner is on your Instagram feed, is in your DM, is on your text messages. But if you're not establishing and building that relationship up with your partner, then that relationship might go down in the turds, in the dumps. And the reason for that is because it requires a level of initiation. It requires a level of understanding. So the hopes for this reading, the hopes for this conversation is that you can understand the basic ritual, and you could build upon this ritual, you could build upon this intention in any way you like. However, first get the basics on what the basics is trying to say through allegory, through mythology. Because the way that I'm trying to explain it, that's why it would be somewhat difficult to explain it. It's like a layer cake. It's multiple layers and multiple frequencies and multiple energies, right? But sometimes if you was just to look at a cake and just single out the sugar or the cinnamon, then it would be hard. You know what I'm saying? John. That's for John. So, back to what I was saying. It's hard to single out one aspect, when, especially like if you're doing an astrological reading. It's multiple layers, but hopefully I could break down these multiple layers and you could digest them very easy like a good cake, right? So these layers to the cake are the sun, the moon, Venus, and Mercury. The Greeks view Venus as Aphrodite. Aphrodite has a lot of mythologies with this energy, such as Eros or Hermes, right? Aphrodite and Hermes were like frickin' frack. But that's multiple levels of desire. Meaning that you have an inborn desire, a natural desire, and then you have desires based upon things that you learn about, things that you are privy to. And it could be like going to school and now you're like very interested in your subject matter now. But that's not an inbred desire. You actually had to be turned into that. So the difference between Venus is that Venus desire, Venus love generally gets you in trouble if you have to force it. When you follow Eros desire, that gets you in trouble too, because society is not going to like it. Because Eros is more of a primal desire, Venus is more of a thoughtful desire, but Venus and Hermes also get into the symbology of Pisces. Pisces is literally about Venus and Mercury. When you get into the mythology of Pisces, the constellation was formed based upon fear of your desires. So when I get into this talk, I'll break down exactly what the mythology speaks to and why ancient Greece and today in the modern world have more in common than you might have paid attention to. So let me just explain it as I go further with these slides. So as I stated earlier, the new moon will be conjunct Venus. It will also be conjunct Mercury, but Mercury will be conjunct Chiron. So this is an excellent place for healing. But where this healing takes place at is in your profession and in your everyday work of life. Meaning that if you have a spiritual way to make it, you'll be fine because you know what you need to do to better, and you know what internal things you need to work at. You know, mainly understanding Piscean energy is coming to the full realization is that my inner plays upon my outer. So I can't say that this person doesn't like me if I'm not fully in love with self, then it might be me. Not to say that a person cannot not like you. They absolutely can. But when you are in the space of Pisces, the person that you don't like the most is the person that you should either clear the air with or work with. And you've been getting signs and you've been getting symbols toward exactly who you should reach out to, who you should work out with. But if you have emotions centered in fear, meaning that if I just simply say, hey, how you doing? This person's going to cut my neck off, and I'd rather not get my neck cut off, so I'm not going to say anything. In the last live, it got cut off. We came up with the term emotionation. That's when your emotions play into your imaginations, and now your negative emotions, which is centered in fear, now are the actual manifestation point. Because to understand Pisces, you have two tracks. The track of fear, which is a manifesting principle, because you are law of attraction, you are creation. Your being, you came down here to create. So whether you choose fear, whether you choose love, is irrelevant to the fact that you're going to create fear babies or you're going to create love babies. Now you know how little man give it up, and you know how such and such little angel baby give it up. Because you can actually recreate and procreate through fear. We can get a job because we're afraid, right? Y'all ever got a job because you was afraid? You ever got into a relationship because you was afraid to be lonely? As opposed to looking at a relationship as an opportunity to grow, expand, and love, and get to see yourself at a deeper level. And then also understanding that you are a reflection of all things that you experience because it is your emotions. So in this minor grand trine, you have Jupiter, you have Mars. So your level of expansion, your level of expression, your level of activity is based upon your intentions and rituals that you place today. But if you're not mindful, fuck what you're reading about on the internet. That's not going to save you. I don't give a fuck what it is. You need to be completely mindful about your emotional baggage, right? The shit that you carry from relationship to relationship, from friendship to friendship, from job to job, right? Your sob story. Well, wait until you hear this shit, right? You know it's coming. Let me tell you about my sob story. The reason why I am the way that I am, right? You carrying that with you into a new situation, and ultimately it's like Pandora's box. When you open it, because it might, see, Aries is the spring. Like I said, you can manifest through fear, meaning that you can get a new boo thing, you can get a new job, right? This happens all the time, fair or not? New cycles happen all the time. But the emotional baggage that you carry into it, what tends to happen is the same thing that's been happening for the past 20 years. So the reality of the intentions and rituals is the reality of purging your negative vibrations. And the natural, so the 12th house is much like the 7th house. So if you do first house shit, if you do second house shit, if you do third house shit, if you do fourth house shit, if you do 5th house shit, if you do 6th house shit, the 7th house is the beautiful relationship. It just manifests. You don't have to go on dating apps. And even if you do go on dating apps, it's not like you need to go on dating apps. It's not like you need to go to the club. You just might go to the club. It's not like you need to go to dinner. You just might go to dinner. And when you meet somebody, it's only right that you manifest somebody because you worked on your appearance. You worked on your money. You worked on your communication. How you doing? My name is Mr. Such and Such. It's lovely to meet you. I would love to take you out sometime. You think she gonna tell you no? And you look like a goddamn Greek Adonis goddess out here. You got on a nice cologne with your shave and shit, right? You got your Cancer energy together, meaning that I'm ready to provide for a family. Her pheromones gonna get to all different types of wheezing and wobbling and things of that nature. She's gonna be weak in the knees. Hey Siri, play SWV, right? Cause you took care of first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So the same goes for the 12th house. When you take care of the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, the 12th house is a gift. Leadership is natural. you magnetize people around you because it's like, damn, this person has their shit together. And more and less you understand the concepts of billionaires. You ain't never met a stingy billionaire. You ain't even met a stingy millionaire. They stop fucking with you because you're a leech and looking at them as a goddamn a come up. They not dumb. But when you first met them, they was very generous, because the natural thing is, the more you give, the more you receive. But you hope people pick up on that and they feed into you, they buy into you, and they understand it. To which it is generally osmosis. If you be around a person and they see you making money and they've been paying for dinner, y'all go out to dinner, and they see you making money and you don't initiate to go into your pocket and pay for dinner, even if they say, no, it's cool, I got it, they go and take a strike off on that. Because just because a person don't ask for something don't mean that they ain't expecting nothing. Because energy exchange is the law for every human being out here. And a person will cut you off in a minute when they feel like their energy is being drained. So first of all, so why would you drain the person's energy? First of all, you're disconnected from source. So every relationship you're into it for a reason external to you, to which you are the giver of energy into the relationship, because you're the spiritual being having the human experience. You might be coming across a whole artificial intelligence, a whole non-playable character. You have the concept of knowledge and consciousness and things of that nature. Not the fox. Not today. You would do that too, John. You mad like that. So what makes it difficult, what makes it hard, is when you're selfish and you're thinking about yourself, and it goes through this cycle. And the deeper reality is that you may need something or want something, but you're going about it at an external ways. But your spirit and being doesn't operate like that. Your spirit didn't say, hey man, I'm growing this body, so I need you to loan me $5 real quick as I continue to grow this fetus into an infant, you know. Okay, now we gotta push this baby out, and now this baby gotta grow. You grew naturally as an internal process. And so since Chiron is influencing this energy, it's not about how you can help yourself. It's parts of the journey where you take care and focus on yourself. But then in certain parts of this journey, the 12th house, where it's sympathetic service, intuitive service, together feeling service. Mainly you, Azor. Mainly you, bro. That's who I'm more disappointed in. Your little brother is cool, but just you, just disappointed.
Why are you disappointed then?
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it later. So, we all have an idealistic reasoning towards how things should be. And when things don't go that way, we shut down, and then we use that reason for this present moment. But that paradigm, that energy, is that of fear. It's not complex. Because you can't even summons love. Love is a result. Your relationship is a result of some work that you've done. And don't take your relationships for granted, because your relationship it goes through cycles, where it goes through Anubis periods where it gets balanced and shifted and shit. Have y'all balance each other out, or has it been one-sided? So it's never a point of, okay, I got the relationship, is all good now. It's more of a process of understanding how you're going to feel about yourself. Like, what is the result that you're going to pour in and tie into yourself, right?
Can you guys please stop? John, can you please turn it down? John, can you please turn it down? John, I will take my phone. Can you please turn it down?
Childish. If Childish was a person, thank you. And you, Seven, you know exactly what the fox says. You know what he says. It's not even a surprise. This is like a 5-year journey of understanding and vetting through what the fox actually says. So the complexity of living through fear is that you distrust everything. But when you're on the track or on the path of fear, fear is a good tool that the dominant society uses because it knows that we are creators. The reason that the dominant society knows that you're God is because you're in a body right now. The government did not assist you in growing your body, fam. You did that all on your own. But when you tune into the government as a sustenance, when it was your source, your non-physical source that's been your spiritual sustenance, your intuitive space, even when you're not knowing it, you may have been 10 minutes late for something because your spirit said you can't leave right now. Because if you were to leave right now, it would have been a drunk driver that was going to blow a stop sign. So stay here these 10 minutes. Make sure that stop sign is clear. Now you can leave. Shit, your intuition save your ass every fucking day. Because you could have easily made a mistake on the road. You could have walked outside and the damn piano done fell out of your hat. You know they was moving the piano across your building the other day. That shit could have failed. But intuition will have you saving your life all the time. But we don't tune into that. We tune into external forces, external expectations, ideal expectations in the space of I'm going to do this shit for me. That's going to have you fucked up. I don't care who, what, where, whatever the case may be, is going to have you fucked up. But it's a catch-22 because when you're in the paradigm of fear, there is no way in hell that you're going to be a positive energy to another human being because you're a creator and you're creating through fear. A new cycle would say, hey, I'm your friend. You're like, cool, friend, you're going to be different from my other friends. Cool, girlfriend, you're going to be different from my other girlfriends. Lo and behold, the same shit happens. Why? Because you create situations whether you know it or not. It's like being on train tracks. This is why a person may sense the train track that you're on and what they call it, ghosting you. Because that person already has a perceptive, intuitive sense that this person will create fear or create the... Listen, if a person is telling you, I'll give you some game right. You just meet a person. This is the number one game in the world. You just meet a person and they're talking about somebody that you don't even know. So you couldn't give a biased opinion even if no situation you give a biased opinion, they'll start ragging on their baby mom or their baby dad or their mom, dad. Their mom, dad, baby mom, baby dad, not there to defend themselves. Thus, they want you to internalize their situation and come up with an opinion that is completely biased to their opinion. All I'm going to say is 10 months from now, a year from now, guess who's going to be the person that they're going to be talking about to their next boo thing on their next date a year from now? Your ass, right? Because you're not the problem if a person has a problem. That person is always the problem if you're their problem. You might have to rewind that and pause that and play it back a couple of times, but you've absorbed people's problems as if they were your problems, but you're the key contributor to your self-talk. I am great, I am beautiful, I am XYZ, fill in the fucking blanks. To which, if you're saying, well, such and such said I'm this, that, and the third, you believed it, you affirmed it, you magnified it, you made it to be true. Whatever we do, we create. So if you want to live in a world where you don't got no man, if you want to live in a world where you don't got nobody you don't got no butt to squeeze at night, keep creating that reality. Because the reason why certain mythologies and certain perpetuations is getting told is because the dominant society knows that you'll create that reality. You'll create a whole society of men that don't want to treat women right if you keep manifesting that and affirming that. Because the reality of you going to a top of the line hotel bar wearing a $5,000 Victoriano Valentino dress or some shit like that, and sipping a goddamn Cosmopolitan, and a man coming up to you and saying, my darling, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and you living out a fucking fairy tale, is completely up to you and your dress choices and the type of bars you go to. So if you say there ain't no good men out here, it's 10 times out of 10, where in the fuck are you looking for men at? What environment are you putting men in? And don't say the internet. Because the only type of niggas that's on the internet is niggas like me. Because real dudes ain't got no time. I'm going to tell you something about men. They don't need to be on the internet. They can be on the internet for other things, but the type of man that you would want to be with shouldn't be on the internet trying to pick up a girl. That's very like the last place you want to pick up a girl. If you the type of dude, that's that type of dude, you can go to any woman in the world and introduce yourself and say, hi, my name is Mars Energy. What's crack-a-lacking? And you don't give a fuck because you know how to communicate yourself very clearly. You can handle whatever a woman say. You can deal with her initial rejection. Now, the type of dude that say, man, these women is mean and angry, that's your reflection. Because I make a girl laugh and smile in a heartbeat after she done gave me negative, dirty, nasty energy. I'll take that and flip that. Getting besides the point. Or maybe I'm on the point. The point is, you could live in a world where girls is smacking dudes, but ain't no girl going to smack me. I don't give her that energy. Like, that would be so weird. Why is you smacking the hood mystic? You can't do that, right? But it's dudes out here getting smacked because they holding that energy. So the reality is, once you are in a space where you do not trust the outcome, right? Because you don't trust yourself, then that spreads, right? Because we are creators. And I'm just making sure y'all understand that point as we go further into the dialogus. So Pisces energy. Pisces energy is our emotions. We have higher emotions and we have lower emotions. Our higher emotions are the feelings of high devotion, aspiration, commitment. Listen, don't hit me with a fantastical message in my DM about how much you like my content, how much you like my videos, and how much we should build together and do all of this weird stuff, but then stop dealing with me and talking to me a week from now or a month from now because I done did some shit that you don't like necessarily. The role of love, the role of emotions, when you feel them, when you have them, when you're ready for them, is that you're committed and loyal to the end. To which, if you don't feel that in your heart, you need to work on purging yourself of fear. Because a commitment and devotion is a lifetime, long-term commitment that's found deep in your intuitive recesses. And when you bring your intuition to the forefront, that's when you meet your wife. That's when you meet your partner. So the 12th house and the 7th house is a result. It's not an action. So when you bring your intentions and rituals into this, it's not what I'm trying to manifest. Found it. On no level is focused in on what I'm trying to manifest. At a certain point, you go into this 12th house feeling a certain type of way because your results are the energy that you put into it. So your emotional frequency is a result of your fear, hate, disgust, love, desire, and astral reactions. Because I don't give a fuck about your love. Your love means nothing to me. I would so be interested in an energy that would say, I want to be committed and loyal to the very end towards a mutual goal. You love me, you hate me. That's a reaction. You wouldn't love me. You would never love me if I was the same dude walking up and down Broad Street in the middle of the summer looking for a job. Because your reaction would be that of disgust. Disgust and love is the same energy. It's a reaction. your reactions to me and my message, first of all, I'm not even the person saying this shit. I'm not even this eloquent, this smart, this knowledgeable, this intuitive. I might go to fucking rallies right now and get me a fucking big Buford. It's not me that you're interested in. So when it comes to relationships with me, it's more, not even relationships, business, any form of life in reference to me, it would be more centered on devotion and intuitive long-term building, meaning non-judgment places of understanding, which most people don't understand because everything is based upon a reaction. Hood, I really loved your video. You could have really hated my video and never DM me. What was that gonna be the difference? You could have got my shit flagged or blocked or shit. What's the difference? It's a reaction. This is so deep because a lot of y'all will tune in and tap into people who are doing psychic stuff, magical stuff, and it's like illusions is based upon an emotional reaction, but it's not real. Meaning that you can't take it home and make a sandwich with it later. What can you make a sandwich with later? Devotion, commitment, loyalty. That's a different type of emotion that's not relegated to, oh, I just love the shit that you saying. I'm not this way at home, out like I'm not this way once I cut off this YouTube video. At times I can be, but most of the time I'm trying to sort things out and I'm going through these channels and I'm trying to take care of my family. I don't need nobody that's going to fucking love me. Because it's very confusing. So generally, because love to me might mean something different to you. So, and I say this to anybody who may think that, oh, such and such said she loved me, and such and such said they cared for me. Because of what? Because how you looked? Because of how you cooked? Because of how you shook? That's a reaction. That's not sustainable. Because if a nigga like you for how you look and you wake up and you're not looking the same and now he feeling a certain different type of way, imagine him staying for how you look. It's not going to be long term. So generally, what ties us together? What brings us together? Devotion, commitment, obviously. Not letting somebody go for, imagine your grandma and your grandpa. And trust me, your grandma and grandpa was getting the fuck down in them days. You think them juke joints wasn't no fucking going on? You don't think grandpa was sliding off to the side, getting something on the side? Y'all seen the Last Funeral, whatever that movie called. That's pretty normal. But what we don't know is how they divorced and separated the kids and had, there's 11 kids at grandma and papa house. Listen, the grandkids, great-grandkids, they all living at the house, right? Because it's more important to be devoted to a person than to just say, be a reactive force to whatever they putting down, no matter how amazing it is, right? So understanding Pisces, thus, will have you into a space where reactionary love and energy is based upon fear, because that's just the way it is. If you are waiting on a reaction, you can't be an initiate or a co-creator. And when you're not an initiator and a co-creator, then it's like whatever. It's whatever goes. But the idea is to be an initiator. The idea is to be a co-creator, because if other people initiate your life, you're not going to like it. I would pull over to a gas station. Don't worry about it. It's right here. So emotions are the sea. Pisces is in the area of the sky that's equated to the sea. Now, if you hear sea, if you hear water, you're talking about emotions. Why are emotions so powerful? Because I dare you to get something. Like, emotions is the most powerful thing in a relationship. Because if you don't have a sense of trust That's a sense of vulnerability. And when you're invulnerable in a relationship, you're off balance. Thus, the strength and trust to be emotionally supported, which a lot of people don't even know how to do within their relationships, especially if they in the realms of just expectation or in the realms of reaction. So I'm only going to love you if you do a certain thing versus I'm going to love you forever regardless of what you do, right? And the reason that holds a lot of people back is because I don't know that you see that ego, right? Ego be holding a lot of people back, and you can't never make this type of stuff up. So the story of Pisces, like I was saying earlier, is the story of Aphrodite and the young Eros. There was an energy called a typhon that was invading the land, and in order to save themselves, Aphrodite and Typhon, or Aphrodite and Eros, turned themselves into fishes so they could escape the brutal and evil Typhon. But when I get into Typhon energy and I try to plug in and try to make sense of it, it really don't make sense to me, because it's like, what the hell is a Typhon, right? Why is it important? Well, Typhon is an analogy towards something that is beyond the comprehension of humans. However, it happens, but because it happens, the powers that be personify this energy and might use it to scare people in the house, or scare people from traveling, or keep people in their house because something bad might happen to you, let alone is other bad things that's happening, is other demons, is other negative energy. But Typhon is like a special super negative energy that you got to be really afraid of. So most of this time I was trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is Typhon? Like, what is this? Why did Aphrodite and Eros turn themselves into fishes so they could escape this dude? Like, what's the symbology? What's the meaning behind it? Because I felt that by understanding the meaning, I would be able to bring forth a deeper understanding of these days and times. So first of all, Greek gods and deities were divided by their characteristics, and almost every natural occurrence and event had its own deity. People used gods to explain things that they couldn't understand, and this helped them cope with natural disasters, emotions, or even simple struggles like jealousy. So the thing about our emotions is that we cannot predict them, we cannot control them, and we cannot hold them back. And the interesting thing is, we will get into relationships, we will get into businesses, we will move in our lives without getting our emotions in check, without realizing our emotions, without coming to an understanding that our emotions need to have some type of mind to them. According to ancient descriptions, Typhon was an outrageously lawless creature that had an immense power and hundreds of snakeheads. These snakes could breathe fire and create all sorts of sounds that were used to scare people. So when you look at most of the human beings, this is what's happening, right? I'm just telling you what's happening. What's being ushered is the energy of Typhon and his energy of fear, because when you're in this actual energy, you can put people in fear, right? And when they're in fear, they can begin to do things because they're in fear. So when people is close to you that you love and you care for them, they start doing things that don't make no sense. They're not doing that shit because they're such in love with the idea. They're doing that shit. They're letting you know, I'm scared as fuck out here. I don't know left from right. And every time, everything that I'm watching is programming me to be afraid. Once again, it may not be you, because you woke and you watch Bobby Hemmett videos. However, the people close to you, they laugh at you for this shit. They think you all types of crazy and all types of weird, but at the same time, they're acting and doing things in a way that's going to create long-term negative effects based upon fear. Why? Because just because you choose fear doesn't mean you stop creating. Just because you choose fear doesn't mean you stop creating. When you're alive, you're a creator. You're creating reality. You're creating frequencies. The funny thing about it is that you can create from love. You can choose love every day. You can build conversations. You can love yourself. You can study things. You can research things. Oh, this is boring. Study something else. Go different places. Experience life in such a way that fear isn't your predominant factor for making decisions. However, when it is, it's nothing that I can do. It's nothing that you can do either. And what explains this energy clearly to me is the energy of the tarot card of zombie. So as I said this earlier, zombie is the Rider-Waite or Thoth card of the Hangman. The Hangman rules all water signs: Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. So emotions are the zombification of the human race. There are only two emotions that a person can have. And trust me, fake love is fear. 2. Fake love is the love that is fake as fuck, because I don't want you to think that I got shit going on with me and I got processes that I haven't really cleared within me. I'm looking at this world and everything ain't shaking out right, but imagine making sure that your kids went to college for 4 years and you paying $200,000 worth of debt off, and you beating your kids' ass when they bring home an F on their report card. And then get to the point where, oh shit, this ain't worth too much of nothing. They shutting down schools, starting schools up, and you don't know what the hell is going on out here in these streets. These kids and their school life has been totally disrupted, and don't nobody want to say, well, maybe we fucked up with this education thing. Right? Nobody wants to say, oh, this wasn't the right and exact thing to do with our children. It wasn't even the right exact thing to do with myself. I should have been studying some other shit, because the way that this world panned out, this money wasn't even going to be my saving grace. I need an actual technical skill to get out here and shit. I need to know how to fucking work and operate a generator or build a house or some shit. The fact that I can fucking computer code ain't gonna matter if the electrical grid is shut down. The fact that I can be a fucking graphic designer ain't gonna fucking matter if I ain't got no computer to fucking turn on and design some damn graphics. So the decisions that we make in relation to so there's love, there's intuition, there's clarity, there's purging, there's releasing, there's following the moon, there's all of this shit that's going on that a motherfucker can look at me like I'm weird. People can look at me like I'm weird. Turn it down for me, big bro. However, one thing's for sure, I'm not a fucking zombie. 2 things for certain, I'm not a fucking zombie. I look at this shit objectively, and that's what it is. But let's get into understanding this zombie energy. Here, creation is reversed. For as to create is to bring something forth from nothing. a little sperm seed and a little egg cell and a little magic, my nigga. That's you. Magic mostly. Because I'm sure that it's millions of sperm cells that's just kind of just died out. It's a lot of sperm cells in y'all hand right now because y'all ain't even washed your hands after y'all. Just nasty, right? Millions of sperm cells died in your hands. That's why dudes don't want to shake your hand or nothing like that. Because you're nasty. So, what a zombie does is take their spiritual energy and don't give honor to the source. They give honor externally, to which I don't care what career path you chosen. If you didn't choose your soul path career, your spiritual career, where you probably was affecting and helping people of service, man, there's a lot of people out here that have saved lives, that help people every single day for years on end, and they just got a check for it, but they got more than a check. They got blanket and covered by spirit, because their job meant more to them than a paycheck. Their job, they actually felt like they needed to help these people, because if they didn't show up to work, they knew how they fucking job got down. They knew they supervisors didn't give a fuck. It's ladies that's working in the nursing home got more ashe than you balling rich ass niggas out here. It's CNAs that got top tier heaven spaces that you niggas could only wish, because you niggas wouldn't never wipe no ass, right? You would let your goddamn grandma, what's that shit called when the boo-boo just sit and just get... It's like dystopia or an erection. It's something like that. District 9. I'm in that range. I can't pinpoint it. But we don't take care of our elders. But somebody that does, they deserve more than a nigga that's just out here, you know, getting some ass. Like, let me just leave that alone. I want to be clear. It's not hard to be a zombie. A zombie is a person that knows or doesn't know that they have a spiritual energy of creation, but decides, I'm not going to. You already are the thing. Look. Here we are. A motherfucker would say some shit. A motherfucker will say some shit like, I want this big inanimate object. Or this inanimate object is worth X amount of money. You got it?
I don't know.
Ah, shit. A motherfucker can say something is worth $1 billion. But let's just use our mind for a second. A Van Gogh painting. That Van Gogh painting, that Monet painting, that Leonardo da Vinci painting is not breathing. It will not fuck you at night. It won't eat you out. It won't toss your salad. It won't do shit. It will be posted on the fucking wall. So if you put more value on that painting than a human being, that's just your dumb ass, right? Nobody can. Nope. That's just your dumb ass. Like, you can't. Human beings are worth more than any object, fam. But how crazy are we to value shit and then say, oh, I'm not a zombie. Oh, you zombied out. You zombied out. Creation is reversed. A zombie is a person that chooses fear and lives that way on that train track, that fear train track. And trust me, it's 99% of y'all on that train track. So make sure you got enough elbow space on that fucking train. Because nothing that I can say, nothing that I can do at the end of the day will get you to purge that shit. Because you can't even choose the love. You can't choose to have a hand. You either have a hand and use it, or you don't. Meaning that your mode of creation is either allowed or blocked. Creation is beyond your comprehension, but it's still an aspect of your life that works specifically for you. But the mode of how you want to create is an emotional process. It's the C. The C is our emotional field, is our emotional energy. But when we don't tap in and tune into our emotional energy and our emotional frequency, the next best thing is to just be a zombie. One wrong slide.
Be careful with your pictures.
You said with my what?
I say you better be careful with your pictures.
My pictures? Oh yeah. Yeah. It's gonna happen one day.
Don't say that.
It's gonna happen.
Don't say
It's
that.
going to happen.
No, but
It's
don't
going to
say
happen.
it.
Listen. You send me a lot of pictures in different positions in various ways, and I do this. I take my own pictures. I got a lot of different things in my catalog, in my library, and I'm on IG. I'm flicking through pictures, and I press buttons quicker than I'm moving faster. I'm talking fast. One day I'm gonna post a nude, and I'm gonna be like, "My fault, y'all," and I'm gonna change it out. That's just going to happen. What did you just prepare for it? Mentally prepare for it. It's going to happen one day. Just let it go. Like it ain't happened yet. But when it does happen, don't be like, damn, that's such a surprise. You know how it should be. You know how things are. So we doing correspondences. We taking the zombie tarot card and we're corresponding it with the hangman. The androgynous self is also the hermaphrodite self. Androgynous and hermaphrodite are plays on words. Ashe. Be always thinking about stuff. Are plays on words. Hermaphrodite is not a person that has a penis and a yoni. A hermaphrodite is a chimerical concept of desire that's rated. So generally you think of the sexual organs, but the sexual organs is not talking about literal sexual organs, it's what they represent. And generally your higher elements of desire is that of childbirth, right? The lower elements of desire is that of sex, but sex begets, right? Childbirth, generally.
Who's that person that just died?
We don't know. We just give our shade. So the high androgynous self, or the high hermaphrodite, or Hermes Aphrodite, Aphrodite just representing Venus. If you Google, what does Aphrodite mean? It's just Greek for Venus. But this represents the feminine, magnetic, subconscious energy. What is that? That's a big word. English is my second or third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth or 10th language. I can hardly decide. I speak a lot of gibberish and I got a lot of gibberish tones, but I digress. Feminine, receptive, magnetic, meaning that your attention to which you direct your magnetism is what you respond to or what you have. But your magnetism, if you think you control it, is subjective and it's going to have you dealing with some dusty crusty energy. However, when you just purge the subconscious field, you get to where you need to get to, exactly where you need to get to, because you're always intuitive. Your magnetic energy is likened to a compass. Now, if I'm walking into nature and I want to go north, but the fucking shit is pointing this way, but I take a left, then what's the point of me wanting to go north? Obviously, if I want to go north, I'm not going to manipulate the actual direction for which I'm going to go. I'm going to simply follow my compass. The reason that the compass works is through a mode of magnetism, to which everything in your life is magnetic and subconscious. You don't have to wish for shit all the fucking time. You wishing for shit, you wanting to be with motherfuckers is what's got you into this trouble in the first place, making your own decisions and things of that nature. The best things that happen for you is when you sit the fuck back and relax. Let your feminine magnetic principle take over, but it's hard to get there if you're afraid of every fucking thing and every fucking body and every fucking place. But if you say, okay, I've purged that, I'm only here for the love, I'm only here for the intuition, it's going to naturally lead you to that. Might say, put on this dress today. It might say, put on these pants today. It might say, wear this outfit. It might say, go to this park. It might say, answer this phone call. It might say, work on this craft. Because when you work on this craft, next year, when it comes to the festivals, you're going to kill it. Going around you. Right, we just keeping it player, slow cruising. Don't bother the mystics. No, not today. But listen, to the Greeks, the subconscious was known as Aphrodite, and the masculine reasoning conscious was known as Hermes. Together, they were known as the divine hermaphrodite. That they're like, if you emotionally like, well, I'm not a hermaphrodite. These are spiritual processes of desire and higher desire and more intuitive functions, to which your intuition is going to give you an inclination. If you don't initiate or act on it, there's no sense in your intuition working with you. So generally, if you want your intuition to work with you, you're going to have to act on shit. And the more you act on shit, the more your intuition is say, okay, I can start working with this person. Because if your intuition is sending you signs and signals and you like, oh, I really like Mama Mystic, but I ain't going to say shit to her. Your intuition is going to just stop fucking with you. It's not going to even deal with you, because what's the point of it telling you that you like Mama Mystic all the fucking time? And you ain't going to say nothing to her. Do you expect Mama Mystic to know that your intuition is speaking to you? It's your intuition, fam. Or whoever the case may be, whoever your intuition is telling you that you like. And maybe they're out of reach. Well, they're telling you to start working on that shit for yourself. And once you start working on that shit for yourself, you'll be at that level of the person that your intuition is telling you to look at or pick up on. What is this? This is conscious energy, subconscious energy coming together. Sometimes eros, sexual desire, when not connected to the divine feminine, will have you out here looking dumb. However, you can have all of that passion, all of that sexual energy once you tap into the mother. Now, what does the mother represent? The mother represents naturally dedication and loyalty or devotion. Do you think it's divine to just hit it and quit it? That's only in real life. In divine mythologies, it's like, okay, certain things, man, I just can't elaborate or hammer on the point because it's like right in front of our faces. But to understand this energy, I'm trying to go through a clear thread of what seemingly coincidences, but it's multiple layers of a cake. But once you get all of these layers down, you dive into this cake and you can taste it, and it's just like, okay, now I understand. But to make it simple, there's two selections that we could choose in reference to our emotional gas. We can pump it up with fear, or we can pump it up with love. But when you pump it up, but you can't necessarily pump it up with love, because it ain't no love option. You just got to decide to stop pumping your gas tank with fear, because you don't even need to pump your gas tank up with nothing, because spirituality is a non-local, non-physical space. You just have to put your mind into spaces to where you can initiate and ritualize the fact of purging yourself of the fear. Wherever your fear lies is usually in your solar plexus chakra. Usually in your digestion. It's always in your nutrition, to whereas emotional eating and things of that nature versus to eating to live or eating to be healthy. It's hard when you on a diet and then some emotional shit happen. You know what it's like. It's fuck your diet. You running straight to the goddamn Waffle House, goddamn Chick-fil-A, and getting a number 2. Or you like, fuck that, I need to smoke. Fuck that, I need to drink. This is why the hangman rules over Neptune and emotions and negative spheres. And I tell you, how do they control black people? Through their emotions. For the majority. They can always manipulate and play on your emotions by specific dates, specific portals, and specific energy frequencies, for which they study Sidereal Astrology. So they'll say, okay, Typhon is coming. So we can put all of these different situations that we can build a collective fear. And people will say, well, who cares? It ain't going to affect me. But generally, we have millions of people who are creating from fear, where they probably would have been creating from a different space. And it's very important that we generally create from that spirit of love. Because just as spirituality and things of that nature can distract you and pull you out of your actual zen, it can actually pull you into a space of healing and deep realizations when you actually simply purge your emotional frequency and just live in the fact of love, being the magnet to love. And then once your subconscious compass say, go to the north, and your ass just sit in the house, don't blame the compass and don't blame the actual purging of the actual emotional energy. Blame your ass for not doing shit. To which it is what you actually pull into yourself will actually bring out the results. You don't seek things outside of yourself, you seek yourself. And you don't even seek yourself to the point that you can't even conceive at how powerful you are. There's no brain energy that can function on the fact of creating from a sperm cell to a zygote to an egg cell in the perpetual growth processes. What? For what?
I don't know.
Oh. I wonder who that is. Is that a girl?
There's a girl dancing, but a guy rapping.
Okay. Oh, shit. So to balance out the polarities on everything that you want to manifest throughout this next 12-month cycle will be in deep relation to the purging of your emotional negative frequencies now. And the best way to purge is to been purging. But since you haven't been purging, think about different dietary herbs, detoxes, teas that's in relation to purging throughout the weekend. Because the more that you release in the realms of toxic or negative energy, it just allows you to be at a more pure state and a natural space of manifestation for which you're already going to do. Your soul already has the plan laid out for you. The only thing you can do is fuck it up. through your emotions, through your fear, and the fact that your compass is saying north, but you're not doing shit about it. You're just saying the compass is saying north, but I'm not going north. I'm sitting my ass down on this comfortable ass couch. To which this is about androgyny. This is about hermaphroditism. Hermes and Aphrodite. That's the inner, deeper desire and the overarching loyalty, nurturing, and care that it takes to sustain and build something worthwhile. The saying goes, Rome wasn't built in one day, nor was our deeper manifestations, our deeper love, our deeper legacies. The effort and energy that it takes to build upon things is a wow. But it's so easy when we let our natural frequency power us through this matrix. You think you're going to think it. You think you're going to think it. You think you're going to clap it up. You think you're going to get around a whole bunch of like minds and they're going to figure it out for you. That's going to be very difficult, but it is a way for people to get you for all your bread at the end of the day. So if you got extra money and you want to waste it, sign up for shit. Go to shit. Learn shit. Whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, when you're ready to follow your intuition, you're going to purge yourself from your emotional baggage and you're going to let your soul do the fucking dirty work. So the concept is your intellect being a carriage and your soul's subconscious energy being a horse. What we tend to do is take our conscious intellect and try to push the fucking horses. When the reality is that our conscious intellect is just to make sure that a piano don't fall on our head. But for the most part, the horses got us. We might tell the horses, slow down, ease up, take a left, take a right. But at the end of the day, the horses is going to carry us. Meaning that I can sit back in this carriage house and kick my feet up. But am I clear enough to do that? Am I clear enough to trust my intuition? Or am I living in a particular fear based upon shit that I tell myself about how I feel about being a father, about how I feel about being a man, how I feel about being this, that, and the third? To which, if anybody say, oh, you a piece of shit dad, oh, now I'm ready to fight you. Because that's the shit that I've been telling myself for all of this time. So I'm very sensitive to people questioning me about my parenting because I'm very hard on my fucking self. You see how that work? To which if I was easier on myself and I did the study and I did the knowledge and I worked very hard on being the best parent that I could be, and the person say, oh, you a piece of shit dad, I laugh at them. But obviously it's work that I need to do in that area. And that's just my truth. And I'm going to be 18. Like, I could be a much better dad. My kids be grown as shit. I could be a better dad. That's just how I am. I'm hard on myself. I realize that, but that's why I work on it. And trust me, if I wasn't a work in progress, I wouldn't be doing these fucking videos. And I say, I hope to be doing these videos 20 years from now, but at the same time, I'm also advocating that I'll be a work in progress, and I'm okay with that. Because I'm not seeking nothing great other than clarity. The clarity of my emotions and the clarity of letting go of my fear. Because the only thing that's left is love. Once you clear yourself, once you purge yourself. Second from the last slide. Why am I talking all this hot shit? Why did I put out a book called Chakra Nova about activating your chakras? I'm thinking about, like, I really just want to tell people I'm doing the book so you can work with your psychic functions. It's very dope to have psychic functions to be aware of, okay, this motherfucker's going to call me today, so let me emotionally prepare for the bullshit. And generally, if I got caught off guard, I'd probably send it to voicemail, but I need to see shit. And I need to see shit without fear. But that's why doing this work, my intuition, it'll be like, okay, this is happening and this is happening like this. And so it's easier for me to live through life without fear. But at the same time, I don't know where my life is headed. I don't know the direction that spirit is guiding me. I don't know where my horses is taking me. But at a certain point, I don't care either. I realize that they there, and that's a whole nother game. At the end of the day, if you don't get nothing from this video, understand that you got horses. Understand that you got magnetism. And if you can't fully tune in and tap into it, it's because you're afraid of the results that may or may not happen. However, the negative results is when you choose fear and you get on the train track anyways. That's the negative result. Now you trying to make the best of it on the goddamn train. Niggas telling you to scoot over. People stepping on your toe. Creepy dudes rubbing on your butt. You know, the train is packed. Because y'all all want to focus and center it on y'all fear and things of that nature. And hope that y'all fear don't manifest. As opposed to just choosing love and ensuring that it don't manifest. Because you are the sole creator of your reality. 10 times out of 10, the things that you're afraid of are going to manifest if you focus on them. What you focus on magnetizes. What you will see in this Piscean energy, what scares us is that we're seeing the things that we're afraid of and we're hoping that it don't happen to us. To which you got to remove that shit. Nothing you can do about it. You need to see fully. You need to see beyond the veil. And it's hard to see beyond the veil if you feel like, well, I can't do it. I live in such and such. I've been through such and such. But you haven't heard my sob story, Hood. My sob story is a lot different from the other sob stories that you heard. This sob story will make you really be sad. Listen to this one. And I'm like, fuck your sob story. I don't want to hear your sob story because I done heard one. I heard them all. At the end of the day, we need to purge ourselves of that energy. Especially as we go through this new cycle. Now, the moon will go into Aries very soon. The sun will go into Aries very soon. But as you make sure that it goes into, it's going to go in there by itself. You want the optimal results? You are clear and purged from negative vibrations and frequencies so you can be very clear at your psychic vision and psychic sight. Because your psychic vision and psychic sight, although it works as a back test in hindsight, it also works in the moment. To whereas you don't know where the train is leading you, but you can trust that the train is going to get you to its destination. But what you must do on the train, that's the result of your intuition, and that's where Hermes comes in. Hermes helps you on your day-to-day, figuring out what job you want to choose, how you going to make your money, this, that, and the third. But in order to have a relationship with Ishu, have a relationship with Mercury, have a relationship with Hermes, you have to be completely clear on the fact that this motherfucker is a trickster. So if Hermes is your conscious mind, that's the same thing as saying that your first baby daddy was going to be your lover of your life. Remember the hearts and the roses and the love letters y'all was saying back to one another? Now, you look at that dude, you're like, I can't stand that dude. I would never. I must have been crazy. That's because Hermes is a trickster. It show you one reality and then give you another reality and then act like the other reality didn't even fucking exist. To which you need to let that energy go. That's your conscious mind. You can't fixate it and focus on it and worry about, okay, I got this, I got that. It's mad pennies on the side. I saved some for it. Gotta give our ashes real quick. Thank you, my lady. Ashe. Really want to be real clear on this message because I know this message can actually heal a person if they simply let go of their negativity, right? So, Eros was a mischievous god of love, a minion and constant companion of the goddess Aphrodite. Aphrodite is just Greek for Venus. Venus is Greek for Sekhmet or Egyptian. Sekhmet is Greek for Aphrodite. Venus is Roman for Aphrodite. Sekhmet, Aphrodite, Venus, same word. So let's get into some primordial energy that exists within ourselves. Of course, this would be something like an evil energy, a negative energy when you talk about love and sexual desire. But I tell you what, them paychecks is not licking y'all booty at night. Them paychecks is not tossing y'all salad. Them paychecks is not providing you the deeper love and satisfaction that you need. Meaning that your eros is suppressed and you a zombie. You got something and you creating nothing. That's an inanimate object, that paycheck. And let alone, oh Lord, I wish you would get a paycheck. Don't get no direct deposit. That's nothing at all. You don't even got no paper, tangible evidence for the work that you done work for this past 2 weeks. And don't let your goddamn bills get drafted out your account. You might not even have no money to show for all the work that you done put in. That's zombieism. You something. You an energy. You a workforce. You can compute numbers. You can lift boxes. You can order things. You can reorder things. You can pick. You can pack. You can do the numbers. You can do the customer service. You are spiritual primordial energy. And what the motherfuckers give you? Nothing. They don't. It's illegal if they was to give you a nice little lap dance after you got your did some work for that company. They say, all right, we gave you some money, but we want to give you a lap dance too, because, you know, this money is only one side of life. It's a whole nother side of life that's centered in love and sexual desire, to which y'all don't give a fuck about. Let's be clear. You need a man that's making a certain amount of money, and if he ain't making a certain amount of money, you would not take him seriously. However, he can come through on the late night and give you that love and sexual desire, but you can't talk about it on the internet. On the internet, you single. But in the late night, you married and laid up. To which, that got to do something to your psyche. I imagine that me and my wife having sex, so I got to let the world know this the woman that I'm having sex with, y'all. That means something. That means something. Because that's the larger part of life. Because, trust me, I could be the fucking hood mystic, single, dick slanger out here in these streets. Because it's real easy to be that. However, the deeper reality is that I can't act like that side of life don't exist, because that's how people try to play. A nigga try to get on here and hit you with the hotepery of all hoteperies, but do not talk about masculine and feminine relationships, on how they actually revitalize and keep us in the realm of truth. Not for everybody. Of course not for everybody. Because everybody will say, well, I don't like women, or I don't like men, and I'm a man, or I'm a woman. See, I wasn't even asking for somebody for rejustification or reassertion of the actual point. I'm simply saying that love and sexual desire is a thing. And it's no problem if you right up front with, I seen this meme about why can't women have two men? You can absolutely have two men if you say it from the jump. If you say it from the first date. Hey, I like multiple men. The problem is you want to come at it as a reaction. And obviously, dude, if you want multiple women and things of that nature, good luck. Good luck. Because the saying is true. How you want to have multiple relationships with multiple women and you can't even make the first one happy? How do that even make sense? No, really think about it. No, really think about it. Your wife got to be so happy to the point that she telling her girlfriends, girl, you got to get a piece of this. This is A1 day one. You wouldn't want to live without experiencing X, Y, and Z. Once again, a person would say, no, I would never. Love train, fear train. Love train or fear train? You afraid of whatever may happen if XYZ was to occur? Once again, this sounds crazy, but it's even crazier when you find out your boyfriend done cheated on you. It's even crazier when you find out your wife done cheated on you. Y'all acting like this shit don't happen. Hood, why you bringing this up? Why you bringing up polygamy and polygyny and polyandry and things of that nature? Because that's better than cheating on folk. Lying to folk. Say it from the gate. I'm a big old freak and I ain't ashamed of it. You might get a whole bunch of people to say such and such a big old freak and I'm fucking with it. As opposed to acting like, you know, you got a good ass job and you making a lot of money. Think about this for a second, ladies. Imagine you get a dude who fucking with you for money. Like, oh yeah, I'm fucking with such and such because she making the big bank. You would be disgusted by that dude. Like, ugh. So what's the point of making all the damn money if you're going to be disgusted by the dudes you attract? That's some nasty ass shit to be with a dude who with you for money. I promise you, if the dude ever told me, yeah, I'm with such and such because she got all the money, I'm like, you is a nasty, filthy scoundrel ass nigga. That's probably the nastiest it comes. A dude that's with you for money. So what's the point of getting a lot of money? It's for yourself, obviously. But at the end of the day, you might say, I want to be in a relationship. What the fuck is money going to do with it? Or have to do with the fact of long-term relationships if you don't have the mindset of loyalty, devotion, and high-level emotional frequency and bonding and things of that nature? Because it's not one size fits all. This men need work, women need work, but the smart people is to say, I'm the problem. And I'm the one that's going to be fixed. Because the individuals that choose to say, I create my own reality through love, them is the people that's going to manifest the loves in their life. Them is the people that's going to have that sexual desire in their life. And this is the reason why you got to let your magnetism and your subconscious mind take control. Because you might think in your mind, your intellect, your carriage, that you need to make all of this money so you can get a husband. And then you get a nasty, nasty guy, not even realizing that you created that reality. Because if a dude get excited by your money, I'm telling you, he's nasty. I don't care if you're a millionaire. He'd be like, all right, baby, that's cool. That's cool. You got $1 million. Good. That's real. Like, it's real weird out here. Because we not taught about love and sexual desire. We not talked about eros in a way that is functional. We talked about in a way of eros, love, and sexual desire that is dysfunctional. So I'm telling you, the man and the woman who decides to be polygamous, or the woman who cheating on her boyfriend, says, you know what, fuck this, I'm polyandrous. I'm fucking with you, and I'm fucking with you, and I'm fucking with you, and y'all gonna like it. Or y'all gonna leave me alone. That's what we need in these days and times. Because love and sexual desire are large aspects to life that I don't know if we gonna make it, y'all. Because it's more of a dysfunction right now. You got little girls turning 18 and hundreds of thousands of guys couldn't wait till she turned 18. Couldn't wait till she got her OnlyFans. That's dysfunction, right? As a community, we should have laughed that girl off of OnlyFans. Girl, you too young to be on OnlyFans. Stop that. What's wrong? What's going on out here in these streets? What messaging are we putting out in relation to sexual energy, to whereas you think that you can monetize your sexual energy as opposed to internalizing your sexual energy and become a greater version of yourself, a more intuitive, more kind and caring, in tune, deeper spiritual process of yourself. So working with eros at the lower levels is very sexual, very dysfunctional, But overall, when you get into the higher realms, it is saying very simply, I will not give up on you. Now, you can have sex with somebody any day and give up on them the next day, especially if the sex wasn't no good. However, when you think about what was needed is the ability to hold and maintain bonds. So when you look at Pisces, they represent two fish that's connected by a cord, meaning it's connected by a bond, meaning that our intellect and our higher celestial consciousness is one thing, it's not separate. So ultimately, my larger point, my greater point, and I'll end this video, is what are you choosing? What are you allowing? What are you ready for? Are you allowing and choosing deep love, deep desire to enter into your life? Or are you trying to choose one or the other? Are you trying to get the money, right? And sacrificing your desires for finances as if you can buy something? You act like you can buy your intuition. And maybe you can. But ultimately, the idea of intuition is that it can't be bought, it can't be contrived, nor can it be manipulated. It just has to be cleared. And so, if y'all looking for any tips and solutions, I mean, we're works in progresses, but me and my wife, we work hard to raise our emotional frequency, and we do have emotional issues and emotional troubles and trials. But the reason I say reach out to us, especially couples, is because we are able to work through our emotional trials and through our emotional disturbances. But the next video that I will do will be centered on relationship issues. So if y'all have any specific topics that y'all want to talk about or ask about, DM me or DM her at Mama_Mystic 911. And we need to get this relationship energy under wraps, because it's people right now in their relationships and they're holding hot coals and they're burning their hands and they're blaming their partner because they're holding negative energy. So with all of that being said, I know it was a multi-layered level pound cake, but hopefully when you put it all together, it's a coherent and cohesive message that will have you in the space of going into this new moon, clearing yourself of negative energies and vibrations through diet, through herbal baths, through steamings, through spiritual baths. However you purge, however you cleanse, get into that vibration, because the natural reaction to your purging will be goodness gracious. Peace.